This is Laurence Goff at Newark Cemetery at the Polish war graves, which was started during the Second World War. We have over 400 Polish, Australian, 6 Australian, 17 from the Air Force from Canada, and 3 from New Zealand also buried in the Commonwealth war graves. And I'm just visiting the cemetery to let you know we should be grateful to all the people that did come over here during the Second World War to give us support, especially the Polish. Like I said, there's over 400 actually buried here. This cemetery is renowned all over the world, and people come, and I'm just here today visiting some of the Commonwealth graves in front here. Australian, as you can see, we've got Australian. There's 6 Australian Air Force who are buried here. We've got a Royal Canadian Air Force, another Australian with the Royal Canadian Air Force, and we have the British Air Force, just to name a few. We've got a wireless operator, air gunner from the Royal Air Force. We've got one from New Zealand, and these should all be remembered. Another Canadian, Australian, the Royal Air Force engineer, air gunner from the Royal Canadian Air Force, another one from the Royal Air Force Canadian. These should never be forgotten. We should be grateful that the Polish came over. We've got another one here from New Zealand, up close, from the New Zealand Air Force. Another Canadian, and next door another Canadian. We've got 17 Canadian Air Force that are buried here, and they came over here to help us during our troubles during the Second World War. New Zealand Air Force, Canadian, another Canadian. Let's go down to see the Polish. We've got 3 presidents that were buried in the cemetery. This last president who died in 1982. The second president who came over during the Second World War and died in 1972 at age 88, and the first president that came over in 1947 who died at age 62. And then we have General Sikorski's grave, who was here for 50 years before he went back to Poland on the 14th of September 1993. And in 1941, General Sikorski, with the president, unveiled this cross to remember his lost comrades that died. And he said if anything happened to him, he'll be happy to be buried here until Poland was a free country, and his wishes was granted. So, for freedom. So next week we have the All Souls event, and this place will be packed next Sunday, which is always on the last Sunday, All Souls of October, and the last Sunday in September is the Air Bridge Memorial in 1944. And as you can see over here, we have the Air Bridge Memorial in the main drive of Newark Cemetery. And we just want to remember the Poles and the British who gave their lives for the sacrifice of others. They should never be forgotten. It's just something we should never forget. I just want to do a bit of filming today We've got another remembrance here, which will be the 70th anniversary of the Rumsden and Mars bombing. We've got 6 graves right behind the Polish war graves. Our 6 graves. There are 30 actually buried here. 41 died on the Rumsden and Mars was bombed on the 7th of March 1941, and next year will be the anniversary. And we've got a number buried here, and there just happen to be 6 in a row here, and just want to make sure people realise that we should remember the people that worked in our factories during the war and bravely carried on working regardless. And I will be talking about that in a distant future. This is Laurence Goff saying goodbye to the cemetery at Newark for the time being until we meet again. Thank you and goodbye for now.